Welcome back to another episode of
The Fuzzy Pod.
I'm your co-host, Megan.
And I'm Madi.
And here on the Fuzzy Pod, we love to talk about all the things that give us those warm, fuzzy feelings. Well, today, our focus is another pop star diaries. We are going to be talking about red carpet moments, personal red carpet moments, and then some of the most iconic red carpet moments to happen in pop culture history.
We have some fun ones on our list. I'm silently laughing to myself because our studio dog, aka my dog Loki, is deciding he doesn't want to get comfortable in his.
He keeps walking around the set.
I just hear his little necklace because he has his little tags are just ting ting ting.
If you see a little shadow behind us in the lights,
know
it's not a ghost.
It's not a ghost, even though it's spoopy season.
It is Loki, and he found a spot. He's laying down.
Okay. We're all settled.
Well, before we get into kind of the core of today's episode, we wanted to talk about something that's been happening in pop culture news right now. Diddy has been in headlines
for the past few months, and more recently,
yes,
was arrested.
Yes.
As we all know.
So I think awaiting trial at this point.
Yes, and they're keeping a close eye on him.
And if I'm being completely honest, I have been keeping aware of everything going on, but a lot of it is truly sickening. So it's just really, really heavy stuff. But the reason we're bringing this all up, let's talk about the bad boy of it all. Because if you don't know, part of my pop star diaries kind of segment we do here is because once upon a time, your girl was pursuing pop stardom. And I actually was an artist signed to Bad Boy Records. Yes, that Bad Boy Records, once upon a time. I was signed with Bad Boy from around 2012 to 2015, 14. It was just a couple years.
It was very short-lived.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
because it was right before Bad Boy ceased to exist.
Yes, yes. And we'll kind of get into that here in a second. But just with everything going on, everyone has, their conspiracy theories and stories going on. And then there's, I don't know, what's actually going on. And it's truly horrific.
It's horrible. Yeah.
And I wanted to talk a little bit about my experience, but I also was kind of debating this for a while because I don't want to get in the way of, I don't know.
Like people's stories who were deeply affected.
Yes, the voices that matter. But that being said, it's not like, I don't know.
It's not like you had no experiences with this man.
No, that too. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to put my words together. And I've been thinking about this for a little while. I think it was more like I don't want to feel like I'm trying to capitalize on a moment when...
Like clout chasing on something that's tragic and horrible and horrific.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think that's basically just the gist of what I was trying to say. But that being said, let's get into it all. When I first met Diddy, I was...
He was going by Puffy.
He was going by Puffy at the time. I was just turned 18, and we had just moved to California, actually unrelated to the label deal. My family had moved out to the Bay Area, and around that time, I got reached out to initially by, I think it was the president or VP, I think at the time, the VP of Bad Boy Harv. So that was the first person that I met with. I put out this original song. It did really well in the first week. And they are one of the labels that was reaching out to me. And so we went out to Miami to meet with Diddy Puffy himself at his house, which that's crazy because the house we went to is like the house
that they raided,
that they've been raiding.
Yeah.
Like that Miami house is the house that we were in.
That we were in.
And seeing that on TV and in clips and it being, it's kind of wild.
It was very wild to see them raiding that house because it was oh, we stepped foot in that house. That's pretty wild.
Even though it was so long ago, and a part of me feels somewhat disconnected from that period of my life.
Yeah.
Just because it's been a while and I was literally a kid. anyways, so that was my first experience was going to his house, having a meeting with him there, and everything was,
It's fine.
fine. It was straightforward.
Normal, yeah.
We had some dinner,
Mhm.
played some music, and then we were on our way. And they were like, "Let's make this happen." So I think the next thing was I met up again in New York. This time with the head of Interscope at the time as well.
Mhm.
And 'cause at the time, Bad Boy and Interscope were doing like a joint kind of deal together.
Yes, yeah.
So I was
They were
gonna
like a
be
subsidiary. What did they
yeah,
had
like a
like a name,
subsidiary of
but I feel
like
like there was another name, but they were a subsidiary of Interscope.
and the Interscope of
But they were
that
still
of
their own.
UMG. It's like all these layers. I
Yeah.
feel like it's like when it comes down to it, there's like Universal Music Group and like one other
And
like
like
Warner.
yeah, no, it's Monopoly.
Yeah. But I was signed, with Bad Boy Interscope Records, and they were calling this Bad Boy 2.0. They were like looking at the new wave, the next generation of Bad Boy.
Which, by the way, it was very odd that Megan was signed to this label because if you don't know, they have only had like hip hop and R&B artists. And so to have Megan, like this pop girly, was like, I think their attempt at like refreshing kind of the bad boy vibe.
Yeah, and being like, oh, we do all
We
sorts
do
of
all of
music.
it. Yeah.
And so like the behind the scenes of it all, so that was like all a whirlwind. I ended up getting signed. So at this point, it's like I've only interacted with him twice. Nothing too strange or out of the ordinary. But that being said, too, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So the next thing is I'm in the studio and I'm working. I'm making my album. And it feels like I'm working on it almost every day for like a year and a half, 2 years, with not even like an inkling that a single is going to be released like anytime soon.
Yeah.
So that was like getting really frustrating. But that kind of part of the record label thing is like tale as old as time.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Anyways, all this to say, it kind of all came to a head when Bad Boy and Interscope were going to cut ties with each other. Don't really know like the nature of
Yeah,
that
what happened
agreement or what
there?
happened there. All I know is that as an artist that was signed to Bad Boy and Bad Boy had a deal with Interscope as their distributor.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like them being tied to Interscope for you was like a big draw because
Yes.
of like,
The pop aspect of
yes, yeah.
Interscope, yes. They had some of like the biggest pop artists ever,
Yeah.
which was like a huge part of me, going with Bad Boy to begin with. So they end up cutting ties, and Interscope scoops up a few of the Bad Boy artists.
Mm-hmm.
I think like MGK was with them at the
Yeah.
time,
Mm-hmm.
French Montana.
Yep.
I'm trying to think who else. I think Janelle Monáe had already been gone from Bad Boy at that point
Yeah,
I
I
came
think-
around.
Yeah, I think so.
But she was like, it was very short lived too. And so Interscope was basically like, who are you? Like, literally, like, never even heard you or your music before. Like, Bad Boy hadn't like shown them like any of the
Anything.
stuff I had been working on for the last
Yeah.
2 years. They were like barely aware of me.
Yeah.
And the person that I had the meeting with at Interscope was like not even a part of Interscope anymore. Like, they had left the company
Yeah,
completely.
whenever you were with Bad Boy, you mean? Like when you
Yes.
first got signed to Bad Boy, the
Yes.
person you had met at Interscope.
Yeah, was no longer working at Interscope. So it all comes to a head, and Bad Boy is now going to go look for a new partner.
Because
Is
they
what
don't
I'm being told.
have like Interscope was such a huge
Well-oiled machine.
yeah, like financially that's what was backing them.
Yeah, 100%.
So losing that meant like for you your chances of music coming out like lessened even more
Yes.
because it was like, okay, like what do you guys do? You're trying to figure it out.
Yes, you don't
And
know.
most likely when changes like this happen, they just want like clean slate, start with all fresh like artists, and like it can just really be messy for
It would have
someone
been
in your situation.
100%. I would have been better off just like finding a new deal after that if that's what I wanted to pursue. So it came down to it where, I remember like I was at a session and I got a phone call from the VP of Bad Boy, and we were having a phone conversation about like, hey, like we want you to like stay with Bad Boy until we find a new partner, with the stipulation that you have to be with this specific
Yeah,
management team.
drop your management team,
Yes.
and you have to be with this team.
And this, just for context, this management team they wanted me to be with, I was with them for about 3 months when I realized they were just not going to be a fit for me. And one of the biggest things that really bothered me about this management team is that they were constantly trying to cut my family out. And I just saw that as a huge red flag, especially because my family members are not
I.e.
stepping, i.e., Maddie, right
me
next,
and my mom.
yes, are not the type of personalities that are going to step in the way creatively ever.
No, we never spoke, like, we never said anything. We never, like, mom wasn't like a momager who
No.
was like, my daughter is gonna be a star and you need to buy. Like, mom literally would just, like, be there, get you food, get you tea, like.
Making sure that I am being fed and, like, taken care of.
Yeah, like, literally that's it. And, like, we're not even just being, like, generous to her for that. Like,
No,
it's
not at all.
genuinely, like, quiet as a mouse, both of us. Like, we never said anything.
Well, and I just, so that was kind of what heightened, like, the red flag energy of it all, was like, why is this, like, such an important thing? Like, they were like, they're gonna get in your way of your career. And I'm like, no, what I think is getting in the way of my career is that no one wants to even take a risk on releasing any music.
Yeah, release my music. Like, I've been working for 2 years on music and nothing's been released.
Yet your concern is my family.
Yeah, and they're the
Coming
ones
to
driving
support-
me to the studio
Yeah,
and making
yeah.
sure that I'm, like, able to.
They're the ones making sure I'm actually, like, my well-being is their priority, and it's clearly not yours. So, when it came down to it and Interscope and Bad Boy had this falling out, that was kind of like the ultimatum, I'll say, that Bad Boy gave me. Like, hey, we want you to stay with us, but you need to drop your management team and you need to go with this guy. And I just, with that
It was a
understanding,
control thing.
with
Like,
the understanding that, like, that management team didn't want my family around. And, like, they didn't want my family around is, like, the bottom line of it. And I never really thought too much of it, like, for years and years and years. I mean, honestly, I just moved on from that after I said my goodbyes. I became an independent artist, released a few albums, doing independently and toured independently for a little bit. And I don't think until all this stuff was coming up recently that I kind of was looking at it from the perspective of, like, a grown woman now and realizing, like, oh, no, yeah, that's kind of odd
yeah.
that you wanted to completely isolate me from my family
Yeah.
and from a management team that I felt I took a long time to find because I felt like they really had my best interests at heart
Yeah.
and wanted to elevate my voice, the way that I wanted to. Yeah. And so I think I'm just really thankful that I never had any crazy experiences or incidences that occurred
Yeah. And
with
I mean,
anyone within Bad Boy.
Who's to say, like,
If they,
what would have happened?
exactly.
But I think, like, for us, it's kind of one of those things that it was like, well, thank goodness we were there because
you don't
just
know.
never know. Like,
Yeah.
it seems. Well, first of all, with Diddy, clearly there were a lot of nefarious things going on, but, like, who knows, like, the people around him too, like, what their intentions were. Like, we just don't know the depth of it, and we honestly probably won't ever know.
No.
And it's just, like, crazy and sad to think about, like, for you, like, how fortunate, how blessed you are to have me. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, genuinely, like, how fortunate you were to have, like, a family who's there like, by your side physically and, like, emotionally and just to, like, support you.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, people who are predators like to
Isolation.
isolate and find people who are vulnerable.
You become like their, I don't know, the way they rely on you for money, for a house over their head or whatever it is, all these things that they become reliant on you for.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people who don't have, like, family who's, like, looking out for them either. And, like, that's just it's just heartbreaking because a lot of people were put in really bad situations because of that. And
Yeah.
Or just, like, not even, like, the parents' fault, like, parents just trusting someone because they are successful and, like, they're a good person, they're in the spotlight, they're not gonna do anything bad to my child, like, why would they? Like, very trusting, I think, of people, which is, like, in theory, should be a good thing, like, we should be able to, like, trust people, but, like, it's just sad that people will take advantage of those types of things, and
Money and power is a very scary thing.
yeah.
Very scary things, especially in the hands of a man.
Yeah.
It's
Too much baby oil.
that was I can't even. Oh my gosh.
It's
Anyways, yeah,
crazy.
I saw not that many. There were some comments of people being like, "Why did she delete videos with him?" And it's like, first of all, I probably would have after all this came up, but the second, I think they've been gone since I was independent. I
Yeah,
realized
well, the thing
it's
is,
like,
like, that was associated with your previous label. Why would you keep content
yes,
up when
yes,
you're no longer signed to that label?
100%.
Like, there's no conspiracy there. Like, that's
No.
just a natural order
Mhm.
of things.
Yeah. Anyways, but
So we're here to myth bust.
myth bust.
There's no
Uh,
conspiracy theory with Megan Nicole.
so funny. No, and we could talk about this, like, just being, like, a young woman in the music industry for, like, ever and ever, and the
A
layers that kinda came
woman.
with that and the undertones, I think too that I don't know, I was thinking about this, that I think for a while that I didn't realize that, like, people could sexualize me when I didn't feel like I was wanting or asking that, and that was, like, a concept that I didn't grasp until later, if that makes sense?
Mhm.
"Oh, well, I'm
Like, you
not
weren't
being."
playing up to, like, sexy is what you mean. Like, you
Like,
weren't
I'm saying, yeah, like, I'm saying, like, "Oh, well, because I don't have, like, cartoonish tatas or whatever, like, I'm not going to be sexualized in that way by,
Mhm.
like, men and older men, especially at the time," and then, like, looking back, realizing, like, "Oh,
That doesn't matter. Yeah.
ew, gross."
Yeah.
Like, yes, at a certain point, well, even before I was of age, but even it's like, man, you're fresh 18, that's a baby.
Yeah.
18, 19, that's a child,
It is a
teen.
child, yeah. It's
Like, I
gross.
understand legally an adult, sure, yes, but, like, I don't know, there's so many, like, layers and things that we could discuss, but I don't know, just wanna if you didn't know about my lore, my bad boy lore specifically, that's a little bit about my bad boy experience.
Yeah. Which I think we've, like, barely touched on, like, kind of you being signed and, like, that process and stuff like that. Of course, that was before any of this, like, came out and about Diddy and all the
Oh my
evidence
gosh.
and the raid.
Oh my gosh.
But
No, and the way that I was just the
there's a world too that we didn't go to that house
no, I know. We were gonna
because
go
we
to New
we were
York.
supposed to go to New York, and when we were flying out, they changed our flight last minute because he decided he wanted to go, like, be in Miami.
Maybe I was part of their PR for a good clean image. Just kidding.
Literally, like
Sign the little PG Christian pop star.
it's a good look.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe how long ago that was, though?
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. It doesn't feel that long ago.
12 years. 12 years.
We're crusty.
Not even that. I mean, I was a baby.
Baby.
I mean, I'm still crusty, but that's how long it's been. Like, I was a baby, and it's been so much time that now I'm crusty. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that is a long time. Jeez.
Man, there's been so much stuff, and it's been it's just been weird time, like, looking back and things, like, in retrospect on.
Do you feel like you find yourself, because a lot of the stuff on TikTok right now, this
Conspiracy
really doesn't,
theories?
yeah, this really doesn't have much to do with anything, but I'm just kind of curious. There's so many conspiracy theories out there of, like, who's involved in what and blah blah blah
Mhm.
blah. Because you've had, like, a small little taste of people,
Yeah.
like, making comments about you, and that was, like, you only were involved with Bad Boy for, like, a very short stint, like,
Yeah.
you didn't really know, like, you weren't friends with Diddy,
No,
like,
I think I interacted with him
it was,
4,
like, 4
5
times,
times,
like, you can
yeah,
count on one hand, like,
yeah.
how many, like, interactions you had with him, and so anyways, question is, is when you see these people posting these conspiracy theories, is your immediate thought like, yeah, they're guilty? Or are you like, we don't know the full story?
With some things, we don't know the full story because of how clear it was how close they were.
Yeah.
Like if they were, example, like Cameron Diaz was in a relationship
Yeah.
with Diddy for years, right? Am I wrong about that? It was a while.
I mean, I don't know how long they were together.
And J-Lo.
J-Lo, yeah, for sure.
And it's like
I'm like, for sure.
you're not like in a relationship with someone without, I mean, at least according to, I think some of the documents and stuff, like I've seen like from the, I don't know, like the court, I don't know, have they gone to court or whatever? I was like watching
it has to do with like, I think like the police have to like gather a bunch of evidence. And so then they'll put that all in like a report. I think.
That's probably the better word.
Yeah.
There was
it's like how they press charges.
Yes.
Maybe.
That like a lot of like people that work for him knew. Because they had
Were
to be
they just
involved
scared
in, like,
because like
it's their job too.
I'm looking at his dating history. J-Lo, they dated from 1999 to 2001. Oh, they were together when she wore the green outfit.
So it looks like Cameron Diaz and Diddy had more of like a brief fling. And J-Lo was in a relationship for a couple of years.
3 years.
Kind of in some of those peak parties and stuff that were the
from 99 to
reports
2001.
are saying.
Had a fling in 2008 with Cameron Diaz.
So to answer your question though, do I believe most of the stuff? I guess it's, I don't know, who's to say? Like probably 90% of the time, people are just grasping for things, and I think they can be a little, I don't know, ridiculous. Even like in small ways that are not hurtful, I think that people are grasping for things, trying to connect artists in their songs to other people, and I just don't think it's that deep sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of fun. That's where a conspiracy theory is fine and lighthearted and fun because it's not really hurting anyone.
Yes.
But yeah, who's to say? Because I just feel like, I don't know. I'm still just surprised by how truly disgusting and horrific people can be sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know.
Well, and it's kind of sad too. I think you and I were talking about this as well, like how these like huge celebrities who are obviously adults now, but like they were kids, and like how their names are being like brought into it too. It'll be interesting to see how everything unfolds, but there's like a lot of like talks about, like Usher and like Justin Bieber and like, but they were children.
Yes.
Like I think Usher started living with P. Diddy when he was like 13 or 14.
Yeah.
Like he was a kid.
Yeah.
So scary stuff. It's very scary.
Dude, but honestly, like there is one thing. It's like these people that have just been absolute monsters.
It's the season of reckoning.
It comes for them eventually, you know?
It does. I feel like we've seen a lot of like people being finally like called. Like I feel like it's good because it shows people who have like money and power and all the things like
can't always be untouched.
Yeah. And I think for a long time that was very, very true. And I think that like hopefully that's changing and like it's not like money is very powerful. It really is. It's scary.
It's terrifying.
And influence.
Yes.
But
billionaires are bad.
Is he a billionaire?
I don't know. Probably high millionaires. Do you ever think it was weird that they didn't even pay attention to how old I was because they would gift me Ciroc all the time?
Yeah.
Like they didn't even care. Like whatever.
Yeah, he might be a billionaire, or he may have been. I don't know.
Is that brand still around? That vodka brand?
Ciroc, yeah. Mm-hmm.
They gonna sell that to someone else?
Selling it from behind bars. Toilet Ciroc.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, all right. Everyone let's take a deep breath in.
Into some more fun size of pop culture.
Thank you for allowing us to talk about that. I think for us, we just felt like it was important, not because there was a particular instance that needed to be discussed, but just to further speak on just the shadiness that I think has been going on, and that it's good that there's finally some justice happening on that situation.
100%.
So, anyways, we are going to move on to red carpets, and we're going to be passing the mic back to Megan.
Oh, okay.
To keep speaking even more, because I did not do red carpets with you, but
you got close to red carpets, though. You would walk.
I was never invited.
Okay, let's talk about this, because most recently in pop culture, we had I think what will go down as an iconic red carpet moment, which was
VMAs.
VMAs.
Yep.
Chappell Roan yelling at the photographer.
Yep.
And I just want to paint a picture of what an average red carpet experience is like. I've done anything from small magazine parties to celebrity launch parties to the Grammys. So I feel like I've had like a wide range of
the
carpet
gamut
experience
Mm-hmm.
to speak on. First of all, Chappell Roan is not wrong, especially if you're someone that deals with maybe anxiety or being easily overwhelmed. Imagine, all right, you have just spent hours getting dressed, getting ready, probably in something that is not the most comfortable, but is going to slay on the carpet, okay?
Because you're being snatched and taped and...
Yes. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Things are being
literally
taped.
Sometimes I feel like I've read multiple people's stories, like celebrity stories, of them being sewn into their dress.
Yes. So that it's just perfectly tailored to them. I've never been quite that degree. I've usually got any tailoring done beforehand, because that's another level. But, I think the most I've done is I don't know, I'm adding extra bronzer because you want to glow, okay? We don't want to see any of my leg veins coming through because of my poor circulation, my purple legs.
The spider veins. As I'm thinking about that, I stopped crossing my legs the unclassy way.
I know.
In Princess Diaries, because that's how you get spider veins.
I know. I honestly, I feel like I'm just prone to them, but that's a conversation for another time. So there's many things that people are doing to, achieve a certain look for truly just a couple hours most of the time. If you're a A-list celebrity, most likely you'll have an outfit change depending on what it is that you're wearing and how maybe uncomfortable it might be. If it's comfortable, I feel like you still see people wearing that outfit in the audience. Or if they're presenting or performing, then of course you're going to have outfit changes. So you spend all this time getting your outfit on. You meet your publicist at the event. Hi, hello. We're going to do a little check, okay, before we hit the carpet. Now, what the carpet is, it's literally just a rolled out carpet. You've seen it, right? And usually a backdrop with the sponsors on there sometimes, depending.
Step and repeat.
Oh, step and repeat. A little nice step and repeat. Sometimes a step and repeat, literally
very
just
small.
a small little square, okay, for smaller events. Other times, it's a whole freaking tent that wraps around into a U. And it's just filled with press junket. Okay, well, let's before we get to the press, okay, and the interviews, you got to take your photos, okay? So the first half of the carpet usually involves where all the photographers are. And before you step onto the carpet for those photographers to grab photos of you, you do one last little check, okay? Usually with your publicist. Make sure the hair is good, Make sure the dress is laying right. Maybe, you're a big celebrity and you have your stylist even with you, know, and they're laying out the dress properly. You're making sure you have nothing in your teeth, okay? That spinach salad you had for lunch, making sure none of that is left. No boogies. I mean, I would do a boogie check every time because you have to.
You gotta.
You have to do a boogie check. Could you imagine?
Now, when you did a boogie check and there was a boogie.
Oh, my publicist, I feel like sometimes I had tissues on them and then I had little makeup and stuff. But I would try to make sure I was on the car before I even got out of the car.
You were checking for boogies then.
Yeah, because if you had to do a little makeup touch up or something,
you have time.
Get that done before. So boogie check really should be done prior. Teeth is easier,
Yeah, it should. Lipstick.
You make sure no lipstick got on your teeth either. So now that your publicist has made sure you're all good to go. If you are not Taylor Swift, okay? You're not Beyonce. You're not a name and you're just little old me. your publicist is going to have a sign with your name on it that he's going to show the photographers so they know who they're photographing.
They can yell at you.
So they can yell your name. And so they can upload those photos.
So they can harass you.
Later to Getty. Megan, over here. Megan, look this way.
Okay.
Megan, over the shoulder.
Isn't there like a Getty image, like photos that are improperly labeled and it's like
Jenna Ortega?
Jenna Ortega?
Yes, as me.
Yeah.
Yes, it still exists. I forgot. There was something I was trying to look up recently. I can't remember if it was Fuzzy Pod related, but I was trying to find like a picture of me in an outfit for something. So I went to Getty and I just started scrolling for a second. And I was like, oh, the sweet memories and stuff. And I the first thing I was thinking too was like, why was I so hard on myself after all these? Like I looked fine. Like I remember going, hold on, I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so yeah, you're taking your photos, you're doing your poses. There was one time that I, in slow motion, saw my publicist melt into the ground as someone yelled to me, Megan, over the shoulder. I had never attempted an over the shoulder look, okay? I've always seen them. You know, when you're watching
You can't do that.
the red carpet, you know?
You can't do that first try.
You see the Oscars and you see like the big movie stars and they have their long gowns on and they turn their bodies mostly to face like the backdrop, but then give you that little look across over the shoulder. This man at this particular billboard party was, I'll say it, harassing me to the point I felt so overwhelmed that I had to do it in order to get this man to stop yelling this. And literally, I swear the whole moment just happened in slow-mo as I awkwardly turned around to have my butt facing the paparazzi. And I was in a jumpsuit, by the way. This wasn't like an over-the-shoulder moment. I had like a jumpsuit on that was like single strap, and I just did one of these. It was so bad that my publicist was like melting into the ground, was trying to rip me away from the carpet.
Literally trips you. He's like, it'll be better, trust me. Pushes you.
He was like, anyways, it became a joke after that. I ignored any other requests for over the shoulder, and I think towards the end of my pop star journey, I did get the hang of it, and I got some decent ones.
Megan.
No, don't. It's okay. Don't Google it. I don't know if the photo exists. I don't think that they released it. This is the thing. What Madi's doing right now is what I would do after every event, which is so toxic.
It was so bad.
I would go to Getty and see the photos that were taken of me. Well, so, you know, if there's any I wanted to, like, share, but, which I don't know the legality on that either.
Wait, how have I never done this before? I remember getting annoyed with you because I'm like, you're so self-absorbed.
It wasn't even that. I wanted to make sure there wasn't, like, the most horrendous photo of me to exist.
What were you going to do?
At least be aware of it.
Okay, was this the outfit?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Wait, how do I see the photos
From that
event?
You'll never find that photo because I made sure it was wiped from all of history. Not actually, but do you want me to tell you one more red carpet story?
Yeah, go for it. I'm on this train.
I don't remember what the event was, but your girl was wearing a backless.
The white eyeliner? Oh.
Shift dress. Oh. Why? Why you gotta remind me there's more than one incident? Why is it
just your feet?
I don't know. They would sometimes just take close-ups of my feet.
Ew!
That's what I'm saying.
They're selling them to Wiki Feet or whatever it's called. Sorry.
Before
I'm so distracted, but I'm like listening to you, but I am actively scrolling looking for this photo.
Okay, well, while you do that, I'm going to continue what the red carpet experience is like. So after you finish photos, it's not done yet. Not always. Usually there is some press that your publicist is trying to get you into, okay? Maybe you're at a music event and Billboard's there, Rolling Stone, E! And your publicist is the one like running up trying to organize these interviews.
So is that happening like on the spot?
It's happening on the spot. Like, hey, I have so-and-so. Now, obviously, if they're a massive celebrity, that's going to look a little different, you know?
Yeah.
They're going to be like, I want that interview.
Yes.
Versus the other way, when you were like up and coming, it was like your publicist being like, I want to get you this interview.
Yes.
And I just need to say that I feel like we shouldn't put so much weight on the things that artists and celebrities say at red carpet events because it is so chaotic that the fact that they are even putting together coherent sentences, that they are even making sense in their answers when they're quite honestly being asked stupid questions 99% of the time, or sometimes being asked way too serious of a question
And
for
you're
the
like,
setting that they're in and expected to give, a great nuanced answer within like 30 seconds. It's too much because not only will you be having an interview, most likely someone directly to your left and right are also being interviewed by different outlets. And it's so
So you
hard.
can't even hear your own thoughts.
No, sometimes, like, I swear, Maddie, I'm trying to remember who was standing next to me one time. And I was just so distracted because I was like, oh my gosh, so and so, big celeb, is like standing like shoulder to shoulder with me right now. I can't be talking to you about my favorite time of year right now because, or what shoes I'm wearing because I'm so distracted and I wish I could remember who it was, but I do remember like just being like, how am I can't hear. This person next to me is yelling too. Like everyone's just like talking over each other. It's too much.
Don't
It's too
talk
much.
over me.
So it can be very chaotic. So I kind of see how a moment could happen like it did with the Chappell Roan situation because it is extremely overwhelming.
It's just like, yeah.
Yelling. It is yelling. It's not very
I would melt.
calm. And you're just like, don't know what you're like, just looking into different Okay, let's talk about it. Maddie wants to talk about my other red carpet
Sorry,
mishaps.
I wasn't gonna talk about it. I just was looking for
No.
I still was looking. I was on the hunt for all of us, for the over the shoulder.
It's a movie premiere. I'm not going to tell you which one because I don't want you to look it up.
I'll tell you. No, I'm just kidding.
I was at a movie premiere and I decided, you know what would be a great thing to do for this red carpet event is to experiment with a new makeup look that I've never done on camera before. White eyeliner. You couldn't see my eyes.
Like white winged eyeliner.
White winged eyeliner. Could have been a sleigh.
In person, it looked good.
It did.
Because you wouldn't have left the house.
No. It photographed horrendously.
Oh, here's a full fit. The fit's cute.
The fit was very cute. I still have that dress. The chunky shoes were fine. They were very of the time.
They're very of the time, yeah. But not in a bad way. Now, you were rocking this one fit that
You have questions
was
about?
like a...
Okay.
I just was trying to figure out what event you would wear this to on a carpet. It was like skinny jean. Imagine like overalls, like a jumpsuit, denim, with like lots of buttons.
Oh, I
and
wore it to
strapless.
like a outdoor charity event.
It's still not working.
It was like an outdoor charity event. I remember that. Yeah. My makeup was terrible.
Your makeup didn't stick out to me in that photo.
All right. Let me talk to you about my final could have been the end of me red carpet situation. I was wearing
Do you ever trip?
a shift.
Like stuff, like not take a full like Timmy takes a tumble, but like just like a little trip.
Surprisingly, no. But once I got into events, I've done embarrassing things, like fought for my life with a chicken wing.
Like you were choking on a chicken wing.
Well, no, it was like not even a chicken wing. It was a. It was like.
Or you like threw
no.
hands because there's never enough food at these things.
That too. It was a chicken tender. I was starving because of course I was because I didn't eat before the event because I didn't want to feel nauseous or mess up my makeup. So I get into the event. I'm eating a chicken wing or chicken tender, sorry. But I bite into it.
Okay.
And it was like the tendon or something.
Oh,
And it got stuck like in my teeth and I couldn't pull it. And I remember my publicist standing next to me being like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm like, I can't get that. He's like, put it down. And I'm like, it's stuck. He's like, oh my God. Just like, he got me into this big fancy event and I'm fighting with the chicken tender in the corner.
I loved your publicist.
The best. Honestly, like, just so good at what they did. I had no business being in a lot of the rooms I was in. People's one to watch me.
Me?
Watch me go where?
Where am I now?
I'll tell you where. Happily married with puppies,
We
feeling good, loving life.
should do like a people's like whatever that was called, like ones to watch. Where are they now?
Starting with me. Where are they now? She's a gamer. She's a gamer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me do the story that I was gonna tell you, my final one. And we can
Okay,
move on.
sorry.
Yeah, I've only tried to tell like 3 times. Do you not want to hear it?
Dang.
I thought this was the one you wanted me to share. Is it not?
No, I don't know what you're gonna share, so go for it.
Oh, I guess you weren't at the meeting, though. I thought we were at together yesterday.
Me every single day.
I was wearing a long black shift dress that was backless. And your girl should have just been wearing some just like really secure pasties or tape, okay? But instead,
Boob tape wasn't really that big of a
thing back then.
No.
What was bigger was chicken cutlets. Now, if you don't know what a chicken cutlet is,
Literally, it's what it sounds like.
it's a sticky boob, is what I call it. Is you stick it on to like usually like right, you stick it on to like lift, support, and hide any like thing you don't want to be seen. That being said, when you stick it on and you start to get a little more sweaty, they are vulnerable. Okay, they could be prone.
Meaning the chicken cutlets.
To falling off. Which, in a situation where you're wearing
A tight
fitted,
dress. Yeah.
tight fitted dress, where are those babies gonna go? They have nowhere to fall.
They have nowhere to go. Yeah.
Tell me why. Tell me why I had on a shift dress. Do you know what a shift dress is? It's loose. It's flowy.
You can spread your legs.
The chicken cutlets, if I were to lose them, nothing would catch them. Do you hear me? Nothing. They would fall straight to the ground, straight to the carpet.
Do you think if you felt them falling that you would have like,
I don't know, maybe turned around?
I probably would have fell to the ground to like
to hide
distract, yeah. I would have been like,
That could have been the thing to launch me. Anyways, all this to say, we were fine.
If you would have lost the chicken
cutlet,
then maybe you would have like just, your career would have just
skyrocketed.
Yeah. Taylor Swift too.
Because
it's Megan Nicole, baby.
That would be a top 10 flub on the red carpet.
A flub blub.
To lose a chicken cutlet and have it just on the ground. I don't know what I would do if that had happened. Thankfully, it did not.
I think I would have gaslit. I have either one of two things. I would have fallen to the ground trying in an attempt to like stop it from like falling. Or 2, it would have fallen and I would have just been like, Who's that? Who's this?
That's so weird. How'd that get there?
Someone's chicken cutlet.
Embarrassing.
And I would have gaslit everybody.
You know what? I could see you doing that and doing very well.
Like
I would have probably started crying.
When something like embarrassing would happen to me, like I would just like flee the scene.
Yeah.
And just pretend like it never happened.
Yeah. Honestly,
like, oops, I tooted, flee the scene. I was never there.
Would you say that the older you get, you're more like, I'm just going to own flubs and things like that? Like,
yeah, definitely.
It makes it less weird.
Yeah.
Or
not care less, you just realize like it's not that big of a deal.
100%. A chicken cutlet falling is a pretty big deal though.
Like, I feel like I used to get embarrassed if I was like talking and I spit.
Yeah.
Now I'd be like, I spit.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, sorry.
Like, oh my God, I just snotted myself.
Yeah, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, like literally I'm leaking. I'm disgusting. I'm a hag.
Well, I know we spent like half of that scrolling my Getty, but
I spent half of it scrolling your Getty. You were contributing to the podcast.
Thank you. We're going to share other iconic moments from the red carpet from celebrities. These are some of our favorites that have happened, and let's go ahead and get into it and wrap things up here today.
Because we can't end without talking about other people.
Because we can't end without bringing up Zac Efron dropping a condom at a children's movies premiere.
He was in that movie.
The Lorax, yes, in 2012. How did this happen? That's my question. How do you Why did he have it on his person?
I literally think this is how low effort men can be. I literally think like women have to go through so much planning of like outfits and stuff for carpets. He probably was just like, yeah, I'll just throw on these jeans from this weekend. These are still clean. Probably picked them up off the ground, smelled them, was like, they're still clean.
He goes, good enough. Pulls it up.
Literally.
But how does it fly out of your pocket?
Because he was pulling things out of his, I think his pockets looked too bulky.
And so his publicist
was like, let's get some stuff out of your pockets while he's on the carpet or like entering the carpet.
Yeah.
And the condom flies out.
That makes a lot of sense because I'm like, it's not like he's expecting to get some at the Lorax premiere.
I mean, he might be expecting to get some.
He is Zac Efron.
He was shocked. He didn't fully know that it was in there. Because he later said he made a joke and was like, that's a part of my checklist now before I go on the carpet is like a pocket check.
Yeah, make sure
ain't no more condoms hanging around.
He's at least I'm he's ready safe for the night. You got a big mustache.
Ready for the night.
He's like, I got a condom. You got a schneed. Sneed. What's
it?
What's it called?
A sneed.
You can use it for anything.
Is it just the need? Is there an S?
No, it's been so long since I've seen the Lorax.
A snuggle? A snuggie? You tell us.
Here's the thing. When we were researching iconic red carpet moments, the amount of them that are just staged for attention is pretty wild. And one of those that was staged was the Kim Kardashian being
the flower bomb of it all.
Being flower bombed at her 2012 perfume launch. Total PR stunt. It was like confirmed.
I mean, she hasn't said it, has she?
It just says apparently turned out to be a PR stunt confirmed by her publicist at the time. Which, I mean, honestly...
Clout chaser.
The Kardashians.
No, not the Kardashians. The publicist.
No, the
That's like a weird thing to come out about later. It's like, what are we doing? You're not going to get hired because people are not going to...
They're not going to trust you.
They're not going to trust you.
Maybe she doesn't do PR anymore. So she's like, what do I have to lose? Let me tell you the tea. I buy it, though. That you would do something. Because we just said that if the chicken cutlet thing happened, that probably would have been talked about.
You would have capitalized on it.
100%.
Yeah, I remember that being, like, in their show. Like, I remember because
it was staged for the show.
Like, them, like, making a big to-do about it. So, yeah. I believe it.
I do, too.
But, like, I'm not mad about it.
No.
Like, who cares?
Like, they did so many stunts, like, to become famous. So, like, obviously they would do that. That's a small one.
That's, like...
That's so small compared to some of the other things they did. Yeah.
What's it called?
Small what?
I said small pickles because I couldn't remember.
The expression?
Yeah, what's the expression? I'm turning into my husband.
I have no idea.
Chips!
Small, I've never heard of any of these.
Small apples, small
peanuts. Pickens?
Peanuts? It's peanuts, like it's small peanuts. What is their expression?
I don't know. I think you're trying to say slim pickings.
Small fish? No.
Small fish to fry?
No, I'm not trying to say slim pickings. It's small. I'm not only thinking of Sabrina Carpenter's album. They got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. There you go. She found it.
I didn't find it, but I will later. But for now, the expression is small pickles.
Maddie, you want to talk about the next iconic moment on the red carpet that we have?
Oh, yeah. All right. Who could forget Pharrell's 2014 Grammys look? And if you did forget, you will remember when I tell you, which is the hat. And that's all I have to say.
The hat.
I will say, looking back at photos, the hat is smaller than I thought it was.
100%.
Because of all the memes that came out.
It just kept getting bigger in each photo.
Hat just kept getting bigger.
I forgot how truly big it was. It's actually not that big.
It's actually not that shocking, but like at the time, it was shocking to all of us. And the memes that came out of it just... fire.
Like, yeah,
it's really not that bad.
No, it's not. Like, it's strange. Like, it's not like a normal size hat, but it's not. I don't know. Maybe the more I stare at it, the weirder it becomes.
Like, it's definitely bigger than his head, but he feels like someone with a small head.
You know what it is, too? If it paired with a different outfit, it could have...
The outfit is the problem.
Yes, he's wearing a red, like, leather tracksuit jacket.
Imagine if he went for, like, a cowboy look.
Yes.
Slay.
He's got, like, a wide, like pant on of some sort with like some like
a cool
floral
belt.
decals, then this look doesn't get memed on. Maybe a little, but not to the degree that
It's
it
the
did.
weird tracksuit with the t-shirt.
It's because it's giving like Canada too, like with the
like
red
a
and the
trooper.
big hat. Yeah,
Pharrell. 24. I need to see like the full look. Like what kind of pants was he wearing? Yeah, it's literally just an ugly outfit.
yeah. What are those shoes?
They're like combat boots.
It's all together. It's the combination together. That's what's confusing. That's more confusing than the hat.
Okay. Our last one, and I put this on the list because girl had this issue 2 times in a row. And that is Bella Hadid. She cannot keep a dress on to save her life. I want to say the first year it was at the Cannes Festival. She was wearing Cannes Festival, sorry. Cannes Festival. She was wearing this like high like slit dress.
Sorry, Cannes chicken. I got hungry.
I'm sorry. She's wearing this like high slit dress, which like again, going back to like the lengths that we have to take as women to look good in fashion, but especially these women like on these carpets. She like was wearing this high slit dress and it just was not staying in place. And she was wearing chonés. And I'm sure she was very thankful she made that choice.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of times where people don't wear underwear with those types of outfits because you literally can't.
There's no way. But you have to know if you're stepping out onto a red carpet where maybe hundreds of cameras are facing you, why are you going to risk not wearing underwear?
And then the next year, she was wearing like this like beautiful red gown, but the top wasn't staying up. And at that point, I feel like if your top is not staying up, that's like a stylist issue.
Yes.
Because like
it's not fitting right.
It's not fitting right.
Mm-mm.
And so it's like, did you just procrastinate?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's giving last minute.
But like in all the photos, she's literally like holding up her dress.
Oh my gosh.
With like her hand. And it's just a mess.
Yeah. I blame the stylist too. Or like something. Just, you got to make sure that whatever you're sending people out in, that they feel secure in.
Yeah.
Especially
100%.
like if they don't want it. Clearly, she wasn't wanting slippage of any kind.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and then there was like the more recent we were talking about because we wanted to do like older, fuzzy pod, nostalgic.
Yes.
Red carpet moments. But there was like more recently, like I think it was Heidi Klum, I think I told you. Like she was wearing this, was it Heidi Klum?
Yes.
She was like wearing this like yellow dress. I don't even know where she was, but like it like had like these big like sleeves or something. And so she kept like doing her arms like this, but it had like barely any fabric like on the boob area. And just like her nip was out and she just kept posing.
She's like, who cares? Free the nip. Free the nip.
Yeah. But some people don't care.
I know. They don't, I guess. Oh, I do want to just throw in one last little one. Can we just talk about Selena Gomez, the blue streaks for the 2017 Vogue Young Hollywood party? Have you ever seen this like clip of this interview?
Maybe a long time ago.
It's just like it's super
Is it like
sweet.
awkward or something?
Yeah, she's like they're asking like about the hair, and she's like, yeah, I wanted a little edge, a little pop in my hair, so I wanted to add something different, especially for the Teen Vogue party. And it's like the way that she says Teen Vogue, like it just kind of became a meme, and it was like kind of circulating again. And she was a kid, but it was just I just love the idea that it's like I put a pop of color in my hair to be edgy for Teen Vogue.
It's so funny.
It's so good. Oh my gosh. You know what? Honestly, I want to bring back blue strands, a little pop in my hair for a little edge.
You've been saying this since we did the Aquamarine movie rewatch.
I know, and I haven't gone to buy them yet. It's one of those things. Y'all, thank you so much for listening to another episode of The Fuzzy Pod. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to go leave us a 5-star rating and review. And
Thanks.
if you're on the YouTube channel, subscribe, leave us a comment. And you can also find us for additional content over on our Patreon.
Yes, and we release episodes once a month, a bonus episode the first Monday of the month.
Yes.
And follow us on Instagram as well, because when we do listener submissions, that's where you'll be able to find that. And with that, we will see you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks for being here, y'all. Bye.
Bye.